A disastrous night at Snapdragon Stadium for the Aztecs offense, and the team as a whole blanked against winless Nevada. Hello, and welcome to Aztecs All In Postgame, where we are all in on San Diego State University Aztec athletics, win or lose. Steve Perez here with Louis Weiner, and it's going to be very difficult to make some chicken salad out of this one. Hey, Louis?
Yeah, that was something else, all right.
In this edition, we shall recap the Aztecs exercise in futility tonight. Head coach Brady Hoke talks about the disappointing result and the potential for opportunities for other players going forward, including possibly a quarterback. We hear from offensive lineman Cade Bennett, who called tonight's performance on his side of the ball unacceptable. Coach Hoke also says a turnover or two on defense might have helped. And speaking of which, we shall hear from defensive back Cedarious Barfield about the play on that side of the ball. The Aztecs did limit Nevada to just 2 field goals, but on the other side of the ball, it's kind of hard to win a game if you keep posting goose eggs quarter after quarter, right, Louis?
Yes, Steve, what a disappointing game. Defense did play well. Nevada giving up 40 points a game. Aztecs get goose-egged, and it's really hard to figure out exactly why.
Well, yeah, and also tough because the Aztecs were trying to get back to 500 with this performance, and instead will fall to 1-3 in the Mountain West, and that will place them amongst those who dwell in the cellar of the conference, and they will drop to 3-5 overall, and really will have some tough sledding ahead of them just to see if they can make it to a postseason bowl game. Nevada, on the other hand, hey, sometimes you got to win a game, and they did tonight.
Yeah, they had lost 16 straight, so congratulations to Nevada. They definitely deserved this one. And for those of you who didn't see the game, we're going to recap this sucker, huh, Steve?
That's why they play the game. First quarter with paid attendance of 27,122 and very nice weather. The Aztecs are home for the first time in a 42-day stretch, and they play like they are strangers to the game. They went 3 and out on their first possession. Jalen Maiden looking for a receiver downfield, but he was flushed on third down. It looked like he was going to get upfield, but instead ends up getting caught from behind, and the drive stalls. It turned out to be that kind of a night. The Aztecs punt, then Nevada embarks on a 13-play, 56-yard drive that results in a 39-yard field goal. And the quarterback, Brendan Lewis for Nevada, the Colorado transfer, proves elusive throughout that drive. Several Aztecs have opportunities to sack him behind the line of scrimmage. Instead, he shakes them and turns something into nothing. The Aztecs cannot do anything with their ensuing possession after running 7 plays and getting 43 yards. Then Jack Browning has to punt. Nevada goes 3 and out. Aztecs start a drive on their 42-yard line. They run a couple of plays that show some promise on offense, and that's where we will hand it over to you, Louis.
Yes, second quarter, Aztecs on that drive get it down to Nevada's 33. And then, interesting, they show 4 wide receivers to the right, but Jalen Maiden runs left, surprising Nevada for a 14-yard gain down to the 19. But on third down, Maiden threw an incomplete pass way wide of the receiver, setting up a Jack Browning 33-yard field goal try. But he missed, despite it looking on television that perhaps he didn't miss.
Well, on TV, on the replay, and they made a point of it. It went over the top of the goalpost, and in college football, it's got to go clearly inside the goalpost.
Okay, so now that we have that figured out with what a field goal is and isn't, still 3-0 Nevada, but the Wolfpack went 3 and out, followed by a 20-yard punt. So the Aztecs started at Nevada's 49-yard line, and an offensive pass interference call killed that drive, and it ended with Jalen Maiden sacked for a 6-yard loss. But Jack Browning at least was able to pin Nevada back thanks to a 58-yard punt. After Nevada went 3 and out for a third straight drive, the Aztecs again started a drive in Nevada territory, this time at the 49-yard line. And again, a penalty killed this drive, an ineligible man downfield. But the Aztecs defense responded, this time with Dominic Oliver sacking Nevada's quarterback Brendan Lewis. That drive started at Nevada's own 11 and ended with the Wolfpack backed up at the 1. So after a punt, the Aztecs started their fourth straight drive in Nevada territory, this time at the 44, but the Aztecs just could not move the ball. Stopped short on short yardage both times with 3 running backs in the backfield. And on fourth down, with Nevada sending practically all 11 players to the line of scrimmage, Jalen Maiden bobbled the snap on fourth, and he was short and did not get the first down. With less than a minute left, Nevada got the ball back and ended the half with a 36-yard field goal thanks to a pass interference in the end zone. So at halftime, Steve, Nevada leads 6-0.
Yeah, that was a long time to say that. Yeah, Nevada scored 3 points in that quarter, and the Aztecs got nothing. Well, I'm going to try not to take so long in the third quarter because it was scoreless. Both teams posted goose eggs on that, and Nevada 3 and out on their possession. The Aztecs run some plays, can't score. Nevada runs an extended possession, 8 plays, 28 yards, but the Aztecs will hold him short on that one. Then San Diego State goes 3 and out on their ensuing drive. Nevada gets the ball back, and they run 8 plays. That ends in a field goal attempt by a kicker from 48 yards out. It's no good. And Nevada's bid for a score in its final possession of the third quarter falls short. The Aztecs will then pick up the ball on the 30-yard line, their own. Lucky Sutton gets into the act and has 3 straight carries that total 13, 14 straight yards, and then the quarter ends.
The quarter ended, and then the fourth quarter started, and the Aztecs had a 2nd and 9 at their own 44, and it looked like they were going to hit a big play on 3rd and 6 from the 47 when Maiden threw one deep to Mekhi Shaw that looked like it could be a touchdown, but unfortunately Shaw had it in his hands but could not bring it in, and that's the closest the Aztecs had come all day, all game to scoring. When Nevada got the ball back, they were backed up again, this time with 3rd and 4 from their own 13-yard line. And then Lewis threw an incomplete pass, so it looked like the Aztecs were in good shape, but J.D. Coffey was penalized for a personal foul. So again, it looked like the Aztecs had them stopped on 2nd and 8 from their own 30 when Cyrus Fiaseyu sacked Lewis, setting up a 3rd and 21 from Nevada's 17-yard line. But again, the Aztecs just couldn't keep it from moving downfield. Lewis hits Dalvon Lewis for a 44-yard pass play, setting up a 48-yard Nevada field goal that was missed. So the Aztecs get the ball back with 8:16 left on the clock, and they just started running. Sutton for 6.
Excuse me, Lewis, because I want to inject just a little bit of a humor. But wasn't one of those misses a doink? Was that the one in the third quarter? Did I miss calling a doink?
You're right. It was.
That's on me. That's
yeah,
on me.
It was think a doink. You did. Yeah. It was a doink. Yeah.
Yeah. That's a doink. Okay. Sorry.
That's okay. No worries.
Hey. Please proceed.
Hey, it's your podcast too. So the Aztecs, get the ball with 8 minutes. They're running. Sutton for 6, Maiden for 5, and end around to Shaw for 9, Sutton for 13. They were down to the 29-yard line on 4th and 3. Then Jalen Maiden runs for 5, picking up the first down. But just a couple of plays later, Maiden on 2nd and 9 went back to pass, was pressured, tried to get away, fumbled the ball. Nevada recovered. Game over. Nevada wins 6-0. Steve, just terribly disappointing when San Diego State had field possession all day. They started on their 36, Nevada's 49, Nevada's 44, their own 48, their own 42, and they just could not get the ball in the end zone.
Offensively, we just got to be more productive, and we've got to take care of the football. You can't fumble the football. We've learned that lesson multiple times. And at the same time, we got to be able to run the football. And that's one of the things. At times, we look pretty good. And I think that was good from the offensive line, but I also think Lucky Sutton did a heck of a job with the football in his hands. So, we got another bye week, which is unusual, but it is what it is, and we'll take advantage of the time that we can possibly make some more decisions. We had some other guys playing, starting, and all that, and giving them an opportunity. So we'll see how that goes.
So interesting there, Brady Hoke talking about possible changes during the bye week. And during the post-game news conference, Brady Hoke was asked specifically if he thought about pulling Jalen Mayden during the game.
Yeah, I had that thought a little bit, but at the same time, I've seen Jalen do so many things positive, and especially in this kind of situation. So we stayed with him, and we'll go through the week, obviously, and look at the film and make some decisions, just like any other position.
Just a terrible game from Mayden, although he did rush well, got some yards on the ground, as he always does, 14 carries for 60 yards. But he just couldn't get things going offensively. And it wasn't just him. It was the offensive line. It was the running backs. Steve, you can't just blame Mayden, but he's the guy with the ball in his hand most of the time, huh?
Yes, and I'm sure when they look at the film of the pass that he threw to Mekhi Shaw, that was one of his finest passes of the night, and you really couldn't have placed it any better. So it's a team game, and the concept of the Aztecs is you are one player, but you are one of 11. So I know that in that locker room, amongst that team, they will not be pointing fingers, and I also know that Jalen Mayden's probably going to be his own most severe critic, and there's probably no one who feels worse about that last turnover that he committed to end the Aztecs' hopes than Moose. But that's the nature of the beast when you're the quarterback. You get a lot of credit when you win, and when things don't go your way and the team's way, since you do handle the ball on every play on offense, you are going to get an inordinate amount of the blame. I will say this about Mayden at this point. He's still the Aztecs' best offensive player on the field. He was one of their better defensive players when he was playing defense. So overall, he's one of the better athletes on the team. Earlier, the Aztecs had the Warrior Walk with Brian Russell, who was one of the Aztecs quarterbacks from the late 90s, and he led them to a bowl game in that day, and he got beat out. Brian Russell did. And what happened to Brian Russell? Did he sulk? No. He went to defense. He played safety. He became a fine safety for the Aztecs, and he also had a fine NFL career. So the question I would pose, and I'm sure the coaches are asking this, do we have some football players on that team who can step up and fill some obvious needs that may include quarterback, but they obviously, when you're at this point in a season and you lose a game in this fashion, a game that you are favored to win, and instead you go out and you put goose eggs up on the scoreboard, can you put that all on Jalen Mayden, or are there some other positions that they can take a look at to get some different personnel in to give them a better chance at trying to stack up some wins, wrapping up this season?
Yeah, they are going to look at that during the bye week. Offensively, though, the passing game was non-existent today. Mayden just 6 of 14 for 47 yards. And on that final drive, Steve, it just, they ran the ball. I don't know if that was just because they thought offensively that was the best way to do it, or because they had little confidence that Mayden would be able to complete a pass, because most of the passes he seemed to throw were guys who were well covered and they fell incomplete.
Well, they were moving the football on that last drive. And in Brady Hoke discussing that, he thought they were going to take it down and win the game. And you heard him discuss Jalen Mayden. Moose has pulled out some wins for the Aztecs in his time as a quarterback. So everybody thought, at least on the Aztecs side of the ball, that that was going to happen again up until the point where the ball was no longer in his hands and Nevada was celebrating at the expense of the Aztecs.
Yeah, that was just a rough one all around. What did the players have to say after the game, Steve?
We heard from Cade Bennett, one of the offensive linemen, and also Cedarious Barfield, a defensive back. And just to get into what Cade Bennett had to say, it's basically this: no excuses.
Oh, we had a good game plan, I think. We prepared our ass off. Just unacceptable performance tonight. Just didn't get the job done. Weren't physical enough. Weren't assignment sound. Have to be better. No excuses. We knew what they were going to do, but we just didn't execute. And our defense played their ass off. We just have to be better. It's unacceptable. I feel like we kept driving down the field. Nothing. Just getting nothing out of it every time. It just, like I said, completely unacceptable from us. We have to be better. We have to come out to play. I don't think we underestimated these guys. I think we prepared, but clearly that didn't show. We have to stay together, first and foremost, as a unit. And we got to watch that tape over and over again, figure out what we did wrong, and not let those mistakes happen again.
So despite the Aztecs' offensive struggles throughout the game, they got the ball back with a little more than 8 minutes left in the fourth quarter, and Brady Hoke was asked what he was thinking when that drive started.
Oh, I thought we'd win. I really did. You know, I thought it might be a little tougher than some others, but, you know, when, the defense, again, did a nice job and field position was good. You know, but, you know, what really teaches you is not getting turnovers. Not getting any turnovers. I mean, turnovers are priceless. And we didn't get that done. And they did, which really was the story of the game to some degree.
Turnovers is the name of this game. The Aztecs commit one. They are unable to get the Nevada Wolfpack to turn over the ball at all, despite the fact that they had lost their last 16 and they were winless on this season. It's a team game. It's hard to point fingers at one particular player in a team game and say, this person cost the team the win. And on defense, it's especially hard to point fingers anywhere there, despite the fact they were unable to come up with a turnover, because they held the opponent to just 6 points. So we're going to listen to Cedarious Barfield give his thoughts on defensive performance, but he'll also address that situation about being unable to come up with some turnovers.
Our coaches gave us a great game plan during the week. We came out, we had a great practice. We put together a full week of practice. I'd say it's like our top 3 practice of the year, I'd say. So I know that a lot of guys just came out to play. But yeah, like you said, it was good to see. You know, a couple of games we've given up a lot of things, and so to come play like we did, it was good to see. But one thing we wanted though was to get that turnover, to help the offense out. I know that people are going to try to blame the offense, but we could, try to force a fumble, get an interception to make it closer for them. Last week we had a lot of turnovers. We had an interception for a touchdown, and that could have helped us this week. So we just kind of have to get better about finishing on the ball. But like I said, I loved how we kept our heads up, kept fighting, and it was good to see. We still have some things to play for. We still have a lot of seniors, could be the last, football. You never know what happens after college. And so, just come out and just have fun, don't worry about what just happened tonight. Of course it's gonna hurt, but kind of let it out of your system today, but get over it, and just have fun, play football, still play hard and everything like that. So yeah, focus on the next game.
Well, Steve, football is supposed to be fun, and the players should be having fun, but really tough to have fun when you lose 6-0 to a team that's lost 16 straight. So let's see how they rebound back with the week off, and they'll have Utah State here at home.
Yeah, Utah State. They played Idaho State like the Aztecs did. The Aztecs ended up winning that one 36-28 in their second game of the season. Feels like it was forever and a day. It was 7 weeks ago. Utah State faced the same team in their second game, also at home, and they dropped 78 points en route to a 78-28 final. The Aggies played San Jose State today, and do we have a final on that one available from the Aztecs All In SportsWire?
Let me check, Steve, my high-speed sports wire. Yes, San Jose State beats Utah State 42-21.
So, we know they're immortal, but it shows a missed opportunity for the Aztecs, as they do have some folks ahead of them in the Mountain West who are losing some games, but they are unable to make up ground and, in fact, fall further behind. So, what can we say except it's probably good for another bye week for the Aztecs at this point?
Yes, they'll be facing Utah State, also 1-3 in the Mountain West. Aztecs with 4 games remaining. They need to win 3 to become bowl eligible. That will do it for this wrap-up show. Thanks so much for listening. You could follow us at Aztecs_all_in on the X, formerly known as Twitter. You can also reach us at aztecsallin@gmail.com, and please follow and subscribe to us wherever you listen to your favorite podcast. For Steve Perez, I'm Louis Weiner. Until next time, so long.